cash discount. Okay, so we'll just continue with this. So we'll check if we have just maintained the terms of payment, any new terms of payment. As of now, we have been using the terms of payment 0001 as per the default terms of payment. We have to make the payment same day. So we have just created our own terms of payment under the path. So just go to the SPR or IMG, then go to the business transaction account. Here we can just go to the financial accounting, then go to the account receivable payable, business transaction, incoming invoices, and we have terms of payment. So we'll check if we have maintained any terms of payment with the ID Eric ERIC. So here just click on position. So so if you want to find out the details, so here you can just find out the details. So these are the terms of payment we have maintained, and the same terms of payment we have assigned in the in the vendor master record, and that we can just find out with the help of XD03, and we'll just put a new invoice. So for our company Ericsson, company code Ericsson, we'll just find out the normal customer. So press F4 option, enter. XT03 Ericsson, XK03. So here we have Ericsson, press F4 option. So for our normal customer, if you want to find out the terms of payment, so the terms of payment are defined under the payment transaction under the company code. So just go to the company code and terms of payment. So here we have to find the terms of payment Ericsson. Now for under this, we have to just get a discount GL also, so that cash discount GL we can assign automatically through OBXU for CAER chart of account. So this GL we have created as 300,110, where the discount will come automatically, or where the system will just assign your or post the discount automatically. So this is the reason we have just assigned it. Now we will just find out any invoice we have just paid. So just go to FB03 and just find out the payments. So the payments for the payment we use the document type KZ. So we'll find the latest document. It is 400,015. So you can just see here we have got the 300 discount. Now this is something which we just received through the manual calculation. But the same thing, if like here we have done the manual payment. Now if the same payment we do through the automatic program, so this calculation will be done by the system automatically. So how it would be done? So for that we will just process one sales invoice, one purchase invoice, and that purchase invoice we can process through the transaction code F-43 or FB60. So here we can have the sales invoice. It is 2nd of November 2016, and that document type is KR, currency USD, and account we have it is 800 100 821, press enter button. So here you can just see period is 10. So there is a possibility that in the OB52 where we can just open and close the period, so we may have opened only period 10. So that is the reason it is showing that the period 1 to 12. Okay, so PE PP ER. So here we can just see we have opened the period till October. Now if I want to open the period 11, so that then the system will just allow me to post the entries for the 11th period. So here we have opened it. Now again we can just go to the F-43 and we'll just see that system will allow us to post the entries for the 11th period. So here we can just, if we just select the vendor, now let's suppose we have the sales invoice, we have the purchase invoice, and amount is 100,000, and we have the business area. Let it be Ericsson, being purchase 40 raw material consumption account. Press enter button, amount asterisk text plus, and save. So the same thing we need to do, see if through the automatic payment program the discount will be calculated and posted by system automatically. So to do that same thing, we can use the automatic payment program, but before that we can just see the status of the line item. So here you can just go to the vendor line item. So here we can just see the vendor line item for A21 vendor. So you can just see this payment is not due. This payment is not due and this payment is overdue. Okay. So here if we will just process this payment, even if it is not due, but we will get the discount on this. So for that processing, we can go to the F110 transaction code, through which we can just run the automatic payment program, and the run date is today's date. Let it be 2nd of November 2016. Then the ID is November 202. Then here the parameter not entered, so let's select the parameter. Company code is Ericsson, and payment method we have selected as M. Then the next payment date, let it be 15th of November 2016. Then vendor selection 1 to all, and click on save option. Then again go back to the status and click on schedule proposal. Select start immediately. Select target computer. Press enter button. Now proposal is ready to be started. Keep pressing the enter button until unless it is created by a system. So it has been created. Now we can display. So here we can just see out of 1 lakh, system will only process 97,000. What about the remaining one? So this 3,000 will go to the cash discount GL. So this calculation has been done by the system automatically. And along with this, the system has also found another invoice of 59,000 which is overdue and which will be processed in this payment run only. Now you can just go back and then click on directly payment run and press enter button. Keep pressing the enter button. So here we have got generated and completed two documents. Now if you just go back to the line item FBL 1N, or if you just check the GL balance for FS10 under the FS10 and transaction code, if you just check the balance for your discount GL, that is 300,110. So earlier the balance was 300, but now it would be 3,033 or 3,300. So this would be the balance. So this balance has come out of the manual payment we have processed, and this is the discount the system has just assigned in this GL out of automatic payment program we have processed today. So this is how the calculation of discount will be done by the system manually and automatic. Like we can just do it manually and automatically. Then we have the purchase return. Now here it is saying that if we need to just return back some material to the vendor, so how it would be processed, how it would be registered in the system. So here it is saying that, for example, if we have purchased 10,000, if we have purchased goods worth 10,000 and we have returned back to the vendor the goods of amount, let it be 2,000. So whatever would be the pending amount, so in this case it would be 8,000. So that 8,000 will be billed by a system while doing the payment through the automatic payment program. So it is saying that for the purchase return, we consider the document type KG. Like we have the document type for the purchase, then purchase payment, then here this time it is saying that for the purchase return you can just maintain the document type KG. Now the same KG document type is this KG document type is having the serial number 17. Now the same serial number we have already maintained for return of the, or for transfer of advance amount from the special GL to normal GL. So at that point we use this serial number 17. So here we need to just find out that if under the OBS 7 through which we can just maintain the document type, through which we can just maintain the serial number for the document type, if we have this 17 serial number or not. So here it is saying that this serial number is already there, so you don't need to have it. Why? Because the same serial number we maintain for K8 document type also. So that is the reason we don't need to create it again or maintain it again for the document type KG. So here we can just go to OBS 7 and we can just go for search for document type KG. So here just go to the detail. So here this is the 17 number. So just go to the number information for the company code Ericsson and go to the display interval. So here we can just find out that this is the 17 serial number, so which is already having the number in. So we don't need to maintain the again a new numbering with the 17 serial number. Okay, because for the year 2017 it is already there. Now what it is saying? It is saying that now you need to just process a purchase return invoice, and that can be done through the transaction code F-41. Now for the purchase return invoice we have to have a purchase invoice. So first we will just enter a purchase invoice, then we can just process a purchase return. So let it be, we have a purchase invoice of through the transaction code F-43. So from the same vendor we have total purchase, let it be 90,000, business area Ericsson, and let it be terms of payment 0001 being purchased, then 40 purchase raw material consumption account, amount asterisk, business area Ericsson, text plus overview the entry, and save. Now here it is saying that we have a purchase return also. So for the purchase return we have F-41. So here we will use F-41, and we have the purchase return on same day, 2nd of November, and you can just observe that here in place of posting key 31 for the vendor, we are using posting key, or system is just showing you the posting key 21. So this 21 is for what? This 21 is for the debit. So normally we credit the vendor, so here we are just debiting the vendor. Why? Because we have returned some of the material, or all the material we have returned. So here we are assuming that we have returned some of the material, and here accordingly we will just debit him. So we have the number, his number is 100,821, press enter button, and out of 90,000 we have returned back goods worth 15,000, and again the business area action, then text being purchase return. Now normally we just use 42 at the time of purchase. Now here this is the purchase return, so we will use another posting key, that is 50 for the material. So here the material has gone, so if the material has gone we can just use posting key 50, and here we can use the material GL, that is 400,000, amount is asterisk, and business area once again Ericsson text plus overview the entry, and then click on save option. Now the same thing you can just find out in the FBL 1N, and that is the line item for your vendor. You can just check out your open item for the vendor. Now here what you will see, in the system will just show you the outstanding amount as 75,000. So 90 plus minus 15, so it would be 75. So the same invoice we can just process manually 75,000. We can just make a check of 75,000 manually, or if we want to process through the automatic payment program, so the system will pick only this amount 75,000 for your vendor 100,821. So to just check it, we can once again we can just run the automatic payment program through F110. This time we can just give the ID as 02 November. Now here again we can just select the parameter, select the company code, method, and next date, payment, next payment date, vendor one to all, click on save option. Again go back to the status button and then click on proposal, start it, and select the target computer, then click on enter button. Now just go for the proposal, display the proposal. Here we will find out that system has just processed the payment, not the 90,000, but the payment system has processed it is 75,000. So if you just go for that, click on payment run and press enter button, and just get the payment document generated and completed. In the background we'll find that open item would have been closed by the system. So here we can just have we can again go for FBL1N, and for the vendor 100,821 we can just check out the cleared item list. So those line item would have been transferred to the cleared item list. So according to the document date, if we just find out the latest one, so you can just see we have purchase of 90,000, purchase return of 15,000, and payment of 75,000. So this is KR. KG is your return and KZ is your payment. So this is how we can process the payment for our vendor under the new terms of payment and under the purchase return. So with this we have completed the account payable. Now we'll just start the account receivable. Anything from the payable you want to ask right now, so you can just let me know. Otherwise we can just go for account receivable. Now before going to account receivable, we can just go through the theory. Actually, whatever you have done in the payable, so you will see the same thing in the receivable. The same thing we will find out under the account receivable. So like what type of things we will find out? So in the account payable, we generally maintain vendor master record. Here we will create or maintain customer master record. Like you have the document type purchase, purchase return, purchase payment. Here we will have the document type for sales, sales payment, sales return. Then like you have the vendor account group, here we will have the customer account group. Like you have the reconciliation account for a vendor, here we will have the reconciliation account for the customer. Like you maintain the purchase account, here we will maintain the customer sales account for the customer. So this is how we can, or along with this, let's suppose here we have gone through in the account payable, we have gone through the partial payment method and residual payment method. So the same method you can also have for your customer, partial and residual, and also you can process the advance payment. So like you just receive the advance, or you just pay the advance to your vendor. So we will find the scenario where we can just receive the advance from the customer and how we can just process it under the account receivable. So all these things you will find out under the account receivable. Now the last thing would be the dunning, that is different. So that predominantly we use for the customer. So under the dunning procedure or under the dunning activity, what we do, we send the reminder to those customers whose payments are overdue. So we need to just remind them. So this is the activity, we call it dunning. So that we will do under the account receivable. So here we have the theory. So under the theory for your account receivable, it is saying that this component we will use to record and process the business transaction with our customer, and we can design the balance confirmation, account statement, other form of report to suit the requirement. And here it is saying that these are called the subledger and maintained on the principle of subsidiary ledger. So Manasa, can you just let me know what do you mean with the main ledger and subledger or reconciliation account?
Yeah, so reconciliation account is like I know accruals and deferrals will be there, right? For that purpose, we maintain the reconciliation account. Like if we have any advance payments or uh, delayed payments or something, I know it is for that, right? Reconciliation account.
And subledger?
I don't know subledgers.
Okay, no problem. Moses, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just answer what do you mean by the subledger and main ledger or reconciliation account?
Subledger. Subledger is like the company level code. Company ledger, and ledger is like the chart of account level. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, here we have gone through the reconciliation account where we have understood that whatever the entries, actually we maintain two types of ledger, main ledger and sub ledger. So main ledger we consider our reconciliation account as main ledger. Why? Because these are part of your financial statement. These are part of your balance sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And sub ledger which you maintain, like you, if you might have observed that we have created the vendor master record. Now we have created the let's suppose if we have created the 10 vendor master record and we want to show their balance under one reconciliation account. So what we do, we just create 10 supporting ledger or 10 sub ledger or 10 vendor master record, which will have the unique reconciliation account, a common or a single reconciliation account, which would be part of your balance sheet. On the liability side it will be shown. So in our case, if you might have observed that if we just open the system, so we have maintained a reconciliation account. So how we will find out the reconciliation account for any for any vendor if we have maintained a reconciliation account? So how we can display it? So we can just go to, let's suppose, this A21 vendor. This is our subledger. So for this subledger, I want to display my main ledger account. So that information you can just find out under the account information. So just select the under the company code, you can just select the account information. So here you can just see you have maintained a main ledger account or a reconciliation account, that is 100 500. So whatever the transaction you will do for this normal vendor, so all those transactions will be transferred by the system real time. In the real time, those transactions will be transferred by the system to this reconciliation account. And we have also another vendor. So if we do any transaction with that particular vendor also, so the transaction for those vendor will also give the impact on this reconciliation account. So in place of maintaining these two accounts in the balance sheet, we can maintain a single account, and whatever the transaction we will process under 821 or 831, so that will be updated or that will be moved to the same unique reconciliation account. So here if I, instead of just checking the balance for two vendor, we can just find out the balance for 100 500, that is the reconciliation account, through which we can just find out the outstanding vendor outstanding. Otherwise we have to just go through each and every vendor master record. So here we can just find out our total outstanding is nil, 0. So here the same information you have to just, or you can just get it through the sub ledger. And for to get the information through the sub ledger, we can go to FK10N. So first we can just get the information for 821. So here no balance is there, which means that the purchase was 251 and payment has been made 251. Then the same information we can get for 821. So this is the purchase and this is the payment and this is the 59,000 we have processed today, so there is no outstanding. So this is the purpose of the reconciliation account. Okay, so here it is saying that you will be creating the reconciliation account for your customer also. So which means that if we have multiple customer master record, so those multiple customer master record will be considered as supporting ledger or sub ledger, and those sub ledger will have the particular reconciliation account, so their line item will be transferred to the reconciliation account or the main ledger automatically, and we will not post any direct entry for your main ledger. For the reconciliation account, if you might have observed, we haven't posted any entry for 100 500. For 100 500 GL, if you might have observed, we haven't used this GL for the posting of any transaction. Why? Because already there is a mechanism in the system that the line item under your vendor master record will be transferred to this GL automatically. Okay. Is it fine?
Yeah.
Hello, is it okay? Hello?
Yes, Jitesh.
Yes.
Yeah, Manasa, is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, okay, so here we have the customer master record, like you have your vendor master record in the payable, in the receivable you will have the customer master record. For each customer we should create the master record which control the business transaction, how these business transaction would be processed. So this will be decided, or this information will be maintained under the customer master record. So if you might have observed that we have maintained a new terms of payment for our vendor. So it is ERIC, and if we just process the payment through our normal payment, if we just process the purchase, or if we just process any purchase invoice, so system will by default select the terms of payment Ericsson. Why it is so? Because in the, or whatever the information you have maintained in your master record, so the same information system will consider. Why? Because that information will become default. So why system is choosing the reconciliation account 100 500? Why not 100 501? Because that same reconciliation account we have maintained in the master record. So that is the reason system will pick all the information from your master record. Now here it is saying the same thing, that whatever the information you will maintain in your customer master record, so at the time of processing the sales invoice, system will just select, or system will pick the information from your customer. So whatever the information you have maintained in your customer master record, for example, if you have maintained a reconciliation account 200-105, so system will pick the same reconciliation account at the time of sales invoice. Why? Because that GL has been maintained in the customer master record. So that is the reason it is just picking the GL from that master record. So here it is saying that whatever the information you will maintain in the customer master record, so that will be used as default. So if you remember, we have maintained the segments in the GL account also, in the vendor master record also. So Manasa, can you just tell me how many segments we have in the GL master record? Through how many segments you can just maintain your GL master record?
3, I think.
Just a minute, please. There is some audio problem. Yeah, Manasa, can you just repeat it? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, Ritesh?
Yeah, how many segments we have in the GL master record?
3.
What are these?
Chart of accounts, is that one?
Mm-hmm. Chart
Is
of
that
account?
right?
Yeah. Chart of account?
Chart of accounts and um, balance. Yes.
Moses, can you just tell me how many segments we maintain at GL master record?
Company code, chart of accounts.
Okay. Moses, are you there?
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, Moses, how many segments we have for our GL master data?
How many segments
Yeah,
do we
we
have?
have at GL. Yeah, we have at GL master data.
GL master data.
Yeah.
So, not sure.
No problem. How many segments we have for customer for vendor master data, through which we can just maintain the vendor master record?
I think 2.
Okay, what are these?
Um, well,
Okay, no problem. Actually, in the GL master record, we have two segments. So, what are these two segments? One is the chart of account and another is the company code. So, if we can just see the information, what are the information we maintain at a chart of account level. So, here you can just see for any GL, we have a single transaction code, that is FS00, through which we can just see, we can display the, or we can maintain the GL master data. So for example, if I need to find out the segment for my GL master data, and that is 100-500, it is the reconciliation account. Now we have two segments. One is the chart of account, another is the company code. So for example, if we need to find out the information at a chart of account level, so here you can just see this is the control we have at a chart of account level. And at a chart of account level, we can just decide the account group, then the type of account, if it is the balance sheet or profit and loss account, then what is the short text, long text. So this is the information we maintain at which level? At first level, that is the chart of account. And if we need to just find out the information at a second level, that is the company code segment, so you can just go to the control data and you can just see that this is the control we have at which level? At a company code level, where we define the currency, we define the, if it is the reconciliation account or account type we define, then if we have the line item display, and then we can just also give the information for the sort key, and we have the information for the field status group. So these are the two segments through which we can just maintain the information for the GL master record. Likewise, we have gone through the vendor master data, and that can be maintained through the transaction code xk0 or xk01. Now for the display we can go for xk03. So here you can just see for your vendor 8 to 1 system is just showing you the information under the three segments. First is the general data, second is the company code data, and third is the purchase data. So for your vendor, you maintain three level information or three segment. There are three segments under which you can just maintain the information. Under the general data, you can just give the name, address, contact number for your vendor. Whereas under the company code, we have gone through the reconciliation account, terms of payment. Then under the third segment, we can just give it, or the purchase department can give the information or maintain the information regarding the terms of, regarding the, for example, regarding the purchase order currency, then the input terms, so, or the purchase terms. So that information will not be maintained by the FI consultant, but by the or by the purchase department. So that is the reason we have to just main focus on the GL data and company data. But it doesn't mean that we do need to bother about the purchase organization. So that without this vendor master record is incomplete. So we have to have some information regarding the purchase organization, and we need to know that with the vendor is created at 3 level, not at a 2 level. So for example, we have also gone through one example that we can also maintain a vendor. We can also maintain a vendor without purchase organization. Now there are two types of vendor we have. One, we have the actually what we are doing, we are purchasing the material. Okay, or we are having the purchase invoice. Now purchase invoice can be, we can have the purchase invoice for the PO based invoice. Now if I'm just saying that PO based invoice means purchase order based invoice. So first of all, we'll just order the vendor to send us a material. Okay, so then he will be sending the material. So basis on that order, if we are just processing the purchase invoice, so for that we have to maintain the information for our for the vendor at 3 level. But if we are just processing the purchase invoice without any purchase order, the same thing which we are just right now we have done for the vendor, so that is called without purchase order. Okay, so for that we don't need to bother about the purchase organization. Why? Because in that case we are maintaining the information for our vendor at two level. What are these? These first is the general data, and second is the company code data. And if you might have, if you remember, we have discussed that for the creation of the vendor master record, you use this transaction code XK01. Okay, but if you are just creating your vendor at two level, one is the general data and second is the company code data, so you can also use T code, it is FD01. So at which scenario we need to use, actually this is FK01, sorry, this is for customer. So here we can just use FK01. This is for the creation of your vendor. So you can just see through which you can just create your vendor. But for which scenario we can just use this transaction code FK01. We can use this transaction code only when we want to create our vendor, and we will be just processing his invoice that would be without purchase order. Now for which vendor you will be processing the without purchase order invoices. So you can just sometime what we do, we create our employee as a vendor. We create our employees as a vendor, and if we are just processing the payment to them, so or we need to just maintain them as a vendor. So we can create their record at two level. One would be the company code general data, and second would be the company code data. Now if we are just having the vendor, and for them we need to just process the purchase order invoice, or we have just given a order and they have just sent us the material. So for that we can just maintain the master record through the transaction code XK01. So that is the reason you can just see here we have the purchase organization. Okay, but if we just go for FK01, you will not find this purchase organization. So I hope you understood the difference between the FK01 and XK01 when we need to just create the vendor at purchase organization and at two level only, that is the generator and company code. Is it clear, Vanessa?
Yes, Siddesh.
Okay. Moses, is it clear to you? Any doubt you can just ask me again. Hello Moses, are you there? Hello Moses, are you there? Okay, no problem. So this is what we have just understood under the we have just understood for your vendor master data and customer master data. So here it is saying that the same thing you will come across for a customer master data also. So you will maintain the information default in your customer master, whatever the information you will maintain in your master data. So that will become default, whether it is the vendor master data or customer master data. So since we will be processing the invoice under the account receivable. So we will focus on the customer master data. So here it is saying that like you have the information for your GL master record, for your vendor master record. So the same way you have to maintain the information for your customer master data. So here what are how many segments we have at a customer master data? So we have three segments once again for the customer master data, but this time you will find that first two segments are same. First two segments are common, general data and company code. So the same two segments you maintain for a vendor also, but here we have the third segment, that is the sales data. Why? Because here we are having the customer. So for our vendor, we maintain the information in the purchase. We have the third segment, that is the purchase data. So here, since we have the customer, we have the sales data. So there are three segments we have under the customer master record: general data, company code data, and sales data. So under the general data, we can have his name, information like address, contact number, and this information we maintain at which level? At a client level. So if I'm just saying that any information that will be maintained at a first level, that is the general data, it means this is common to every company code. This will find out in every company code. Why? Because this information is maintained at a group level. Then we have the company code data. So this data would be specific to a company code only, and whatever the information you will maintain for your customer for a particular company code, so that information you will be able to access only for that particular company code only. So this segment contains the information like your reconciliation account, terms of payment, dunning procedure, and this is specific to a company code and it is stored at a company code level. Then we have the sales data. So here it is saying this is the third segment we have. Under this we will get the information, that is the order probability pricing procedure, who would be maintaining the information for this sales data. So this information under this segment will be maintained by the sales department of the company. Then it is saying that the customer account group. So like you have your vendor account group, you can maintain your customer account group also. So for maintaining the customer master record, it is saying that you have to just based on the similarity of the customer master data maintenance requirement, the customers are grouped together. So it is saying that similar type of customer you will group together. So like you just maintain your vendor account group, you can create your customer account group. Now these are called customer account group, and at a customer account group, what are the two things we do? What are the two controls we have? One is the numbering, another is the field status. So if you might have observed that when we have created the vendor account group, so we have given the number range. If you remember, we have created two account group. One is the normal account group, one normal vendor, and another is the one-time vendor. So accordingly, we have just given the different number range. So for the normal vendor, we have received the vendor master record number, or we have received the vendor number. It is 100 821. So that is for the normal, and for the one time it is 100,831. Why 100,831? Why not 100,822? Because that is the another set group. Okay, so the number will be given to your sub ledger according to the number range or according to the account group you have. Okay, then we have the field status. So here it is saying that at a account group level, at a customer account group, you can also decide that what are the fields you want to maintain as suppress, require, or option at which level at the time of creating your custom master data. So for example, if you want to maintain some information as the some information at a custom master data, so you can just maintain those fields as a required field. So like if you might have observed that at the time of creating the vendor master record, we have maintained the reconciliation account as a required field or a mandatory field, and we have seen that without the giving the information for the required field, we cannot create our vendor master record. So the same information or the same mechanism or the same process you can also follow for your custom master data. So if you want any information to be maintained as required at the time of custom master record maintenance, so you can just make those fields required. So system will not allow the user to create the customer without giving the information for those required fields. Okay, and that particular thing can be done under the field status. Okay, so this was your account receivable. So here we have the steps for the account receivable. What are the steps we will be following under the account receivable? So here we just see. So as I have just shared with you, we'll be creating the customer account group, then we'll be giving the number range, and after that uh, we'll just start creating the customer master record, but we will also have the reconciliation account for our customer, like you have in the reconciliation account for a vendor. So here we'll create the customer account group, then we also maintain a GL for the sales account we create. Then we can just create the customer master data with the help of transaction code XD01. Then we can maintain some document types through which we can just process the sales payment, sales return. Like you have just processed the you have maintained the document type of purchase return through KR, KZ or KA. Here we can just maintain the document type where the DR, DZ and DA. Then we will be processing the sales invoice and we'll be doing the payment, and then we can also go through the part payment, residual method, partial payment method, residual payment method. Then we can also go through the advance payment. So all these things we will be doing, okay, and we will conclude it with the dunning. Now what do you mean by dunning? So that is that we will be doing at the last segment of the account receivable. So this is what we will be going through under the account receivable. Okay. So the practice for or the practicals for this account receivable we will be doing tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Moses, sometimes you just go off. So I was just asking some of the question. No problem. So I was just uh, asking you something. No problem. So any question you have from the account receivable or any other module you have any query, account GL account or like GL accounting, then account payable accounting you have You have started any practice, doing any practice for GL accounting or for account payable or receivable accounting?
I get plenty of practice
Actually,
at work. Go ahead.
yo, go ahead, Moses.
No, I get plenty of practice at work. Normally I post accounts payable and receivable and cut checks, but I've never went over the how to set up an account, GL account and all.
Yeah, actually, Moses, just to be very honest with you, until unless you do all these steps, okay, so you will find the problem or you will find some you will be finding